Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. In this episode, we have round 5 between Fox News reporter Peter Doocy and White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, and Peter Doocy has her stumbling and stuttering through her answers. It's quite a sight to behold. As always, if you want to join us here at the show or heck support a conservative, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Your help would be greatly appreciated. And with that being said, let's just jump right into it.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Karine. The president isn't really doing everything he can to bring gas prices down, is he?
I feel like there's is there something else to the question?
Oh, there's a lot to the question.
Oh, okay. Well,
for example,
yeah.
as you mentioned earlier, he's meeting today with people installing offshore wind equipment, but not oil and gas CEOs who are rarely ever in town, but they are today. So how did that help lower gas prices?
Well, the president has done a, so let me step back for a second.
She's already trying to figure it out, and it's the first question.
But
No.
With offshore wind
You're
folks
asking
and
me.
not with gas,
You're asking
oil
me
and
the
gas
question.
CEOs, how does that lower gas
Peter,
prices? You said
Peter.
he's done everything in his power. They were a mile away.
Peter, you're asking me a question. May I answer?
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go. I just want to take us back a second on how we got here, right? So we have seen gas prices go up by $2 a gallon. One of the reasons we have seen that, is because of Russia's war in Ukraine. And once that happened, once we saw what that impact was going to be, the president took action. He took action. He made a historic choice to tap the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, 1 million barrels a day, and that was for 6 months. And that helped blunt the impact of what we're seeing right now with prices going up. So that matters. The ethanol 15 the action that the president took, that matters because it's going to bring down gas prices in gas stations, over 1,000 gas stations across the country, including the Midwest. That matters. And so the president is trying to figure out and take steps in how we can bring the gas prices down. And we have a high level of oil production. So what we are asking the oil refinery companies to do is to take that production, turn it into refine that oil so that there is capacity. We are not at capacity right now.
She's struggling.
And it does matter that the Secretary of Energy, which is her purview, that is her portfolio, to meet with these oil execs, that she does on pretty regular basis.
But your point was about how we got here. The president said, as a candidate, no more drilling on federal lands, no more drilling including offshore, no ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Aren't some of those things that would bring the price of gas down now?
Let me tell you how we got here, since you just said how we got here.
You started by saying how we got here. So he asks a follow-up, and now you're going back to how we got here because you don't have a damn answer to any of his questions. Unbelievable.
Due to a decreased demand of the start of the pandemic, U.S. oil companies reduced production and refinery capacity, which is what I was just saying, Peter. Refiners, for instance, cut their capacity by more than 800,000 barrels per day in the year before the president took office. Oil production is now back to near pre-pandemic levels. In fact, we produce more oil in the first year of the president's administration than in the first 2 years of the previous administration. And we are on track to set a new record for oil production next year this time. But oil refiners have still not brought refinery capacity back.
I love how they always go back to Trump administration. They're going, oh, well, the first 2 years of his administration, he has to fix what was just done from the previous 8 years of the previous administration, which was Obama-Biden administration. So when he had to cut through all that red tape, get rid of the regulations, finally the oil companies can do what they want to do, which is produce oil, which is why you had him having major oil being produced and refined in those following 2 years. And now we're back to this crap of them going, well, it's Trump's fault, it's Putin's fault, it's everybody's fault. Oh, well, look what the prior administration did. All this stuff. She doesn't have a damn clue what's happening.
Online. At the same time, as I was just stating to you about Putin's war, Putin's invasion of Ukraine disrupted the global oil supply, and gas prices have gone up nearly to $2 since the beginning of the year before the invasion. President Biden has taken historic actions again to alleviate the pressure and to blunt what the impacts that we have seen because of Putin's war, and that matters, and that's what the president has been focused on.
Do you guys think that's a sufficient answer? Because to me, it's a bunch of hubbub. It's just her going back, oh, he's done this. So there was two things basically Biden has done. The oil reserve and the, I don't know if it's ethanol 15 was what she talked about. 1,000 plus gas stations across the Midwest in the United States. Wow. Out of how many gas stations do we have in the entire United States? And she's talking about 1,000 plus. And then you already depleted the 6 months that we already had. So nothing's changed. You haven't done anything. You had the oil CEOs, you had the oil industry right there a mile away from you, and you didn't want to go meet with them.
Okay, and the president yesterday was talking about this transition to greener energy someday. A lot of people can't afford a $60,000 electric car, and they also are having a hard time affording gas right now. That sounds like a painful transition. So how much of that kind of pain is the president okay with?
No, that transition, we are in a transition to clean energy. That is something that that is important. It is going to create jobs. When you think about electric vehicles, it is going to give families some tax credits. It's going to be really important to have.
Who can afford an electric car? The average price is $61,000.
Well, we're going to continue to move forward with what we have put forward, the bipartisan infrastructure.
$5 gallon gas or a $61,000
That is
electric
not,
car?
first of all, that's apples and oranges. It's not the same. What we're trying to do right now is to deal with an acute problem right now, which is why the president, again, asked for a 90-day suspension of the gas tax holiday. It is going to make a difference. Peter, we're talking about 18 cents on the federal level. We're talking about an average of 30 cents on the state level. And if the oil refinery does their job, if they do what we are asking them to do, which is put their profits back in so that gas prices can go down, that's almost $1 per gallon. That matters. That matters. That matters to teachers. That matters to home health care aides. That matters to construction workers. That matters to plumbers. That matters to lifeguards. Those are the people that, and many others, who are going to feel this in a way that will give them relief at the pump. All right, we're done.
Supreme Court.
Wow. So I love just all the question that took place, but Peter Doocy makes a great point. You're talking about $5 per gallon, but you want people to go out and buy a $61,000 vehicle that can't afford it. And then you're going to push this, well, there's going to be a tax incentive at the end of the day, at the end of the year. How are you supposed to buy the car in the first place to get that tax incentive for the year that you purchased the car? You can't, because you can't afford it. What, you can go finance it with interest rates increasing because of inflation? It's a bunch of BS, folks. And she's coming on the podium every week lying to the American people. And it's not just her, it's Joe Biden. Because that original quote that he put there in terms of gas price to buy an electric vehicle came from Joe Biden. You had his energy secretary say the exact same thing. She's pushing the exact same thing. Jen Psaki was pushing the same thing when she was on the podium a few months ago. It's unbelievable, the messaging. And she can list two things that President Joe Biden did. Only two things. But he's doing everything he can, which was the original question. Joe Biden's losing sleep over this, folks. He's doing everything he possibly can to fix the issue, while the oil companies were a mile away from him that he could have met with, but he didn't want to do it. While he sat there on the campaign trail to push this whole green energy, that he's going to get rid of fossil fuels, that he doesn't want the oil industry to be basically doing what they're doing, and he wants windmills and solar panels and all these things. And you just had the energy secretary, we just saw the video earlier today that was posted, pushing the exact same narrative, while at the same time saying, well, we want them to do this, we want them to drill more oil. Why would they drill more oil? Why would they get rid of their profits going towards the same administration or up against the administration that basically doesn't want them to exist? Why would you go out of your way for them? I understand there's an argument to go out of your way for the American people, but we also have to remember those same profits that they just had was making up for the loss that they had in the year prior because of the government shutdown, because of everything that happened. So for them to have huge profits, hey, good on them. They just lost billions of dollars prior. And if people are willing to pay that price at the pump, that's what they're going to pay. But for her to be like, oh, well, they're producing, we need to refine it, we need to do all these things. Oh, and by the way, go purchase an electric vehicle. Oh, and by the way, we don't want them to exist in the next 20 years. By 2050, we want them basically to be absolved. All this stuff is just crazy by the Biden administration, folks. Let me know what you think about all this. I can't be the only one sitting here going, what the hell? You got Peter Doocy going, what the hell? Peter Doocy sat there and thought about these questions beforehand, trying to figure out how the hell she's going to answer, but she just wanted to go back on history of like how we got here, which wasn't the question. The question was, how is Biden doing everything he possibly can when you can only list two damn things out of a year and a half on what he's done? And even that hasn't done anything. So folks, let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And folks, I will see you tomorrow here for Supernatural Saturdays. Take care, everyone.